And for us to have struck last night means that we had really good intelligence. And that's new because, frankly, for the last 12 years, we haven't had very good intelligence about where Saddam Hussein was at any given point in time.
I'm always struck by talking to political analysts, to intelligence officers, to military officers, how they also, and yourself included, openly admit how bad American intelligence has been inside Iraq.
That's a very difficult problem. We had an entire ring of CIA supporters and agents rounded up in the 1995-1996 timeframe. It's a police state, and when you use very brutal tactics like boiling people in acid, it tends to deter people from cooperating.
Okay, please stay with us for a second. A huge amount to talk about, including the impact of this hugely politicized state in every single level of life on the capacity or the intention or the desire to fight. But this is ABC News continuing live coverage of the war with Iraq. Hello again, everybody. I'm Peter Jennings at ABC News headquarters, joined thank goodness, by various members of the ABC News team. The Secretary of Defense has just held a news conference in which he has said that a leadership compound was the target in southern Baghdad last night. The bomb damage assessment, you'll get used to hearing that all over again, is not complete. It's been a little difficult this morning to gather physical intelligence from the air. We do not know what they get from their human intelligence on the ground at the moment, but it is clear that in the compound, the U.S. believed that there were members of the Iraqi Ba'ath leadership. We do not know if it was Saddam Hussein and his two sons. There's been a fair amount of speculation about that this morning. There's been some real enthusiasm this morning about the possibility of having actually got Saddam Hussein himself, but we have been warned by our Iraqi sources to be extremely careful about getting overly enthusiastic about that. Dick Clark, talk for a second about what you do in an intelligence position which you have held when you know the guy's got 3 or 4 doubles.
Well, it raises the risk that you'll be embarrassed by attacking and then having him pop up and hold a press conference and prove that you were wrong. But I was struck by the Secretary of Defense saying the bomb damage assessment was still going on. It's not. The bomb damage assessment was done 6, 7 o'clock this morning. They could tell very quickly from satellite pictures whether the buildings were knocked down, what buildings were hit. I think what he was really saying was not the bomb damage assessment was incomplete, but that our intelligence analysis of whether or not we got the people is incomplete.
Now, I know that you have had a chance in your career to look a lot of bomb damage assessment. Tell me what you can see. Last night they sent in 2 stealth fighters and 42 Tomahawk cruise missiles. I'm not sure they all went on the same target, but the stealth fighters were carrying these 2,000-pound bombs. When you look at the bomb damage pictures the next day, how close can you see?
Well, when you finally get on the ground and compare the ground pictures to the satellite pictures, it's a big difference. But our photo interpreters are used to that. And what they can see is much different from what you and I could see by looking at a satellite picture. If all of those missiles were aimed at a compound, even if it was a relatively big compound, it would have done an immense amount of damage. In June of 1993, we sent about the same number of cruise missiles at Iraqi intelligence headquarters in Baghdad and blew away a very large building and adjacent buildings. So for this amount of ordnance to be dropped on a villa compound, which is what we're hearing it